Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we successfully completed the energy minimization step. Our system now is relaxed and free from bad contacts. Now, before we jump into equilibration, there's one small but very important step left. And these steps are called as index generation and applying position restraint. So let's go ahead and see how do we do it. In GROMACS, index groups are needed for almost every major command. They help define specific parts of your system like protein, ligand, water, ions, etc. If your system doesn't contain any ligand, you can skip this step. But if it does, we need to create a special index file for the ligand group. That's where the index architect tab comes into the play. This index architect tab is our very own utility designed for this exact purpose. This tab is a general purpose indexing tool, which means you can use it anytime you need to create index file for different GROMACS file type. Currently, it supports TPR and GRO format. Both of these formats are commonly used in MD simulation. This form is a single section utility where you select your input file and define the name of the index file you want to generate. Simple, right? Let's see how it's done. Now step 1 is to browse and select the ligand file. You can go to this browse and select this lig.gro file and hit this open button to load it. This lig.gro file was generated earlier during the run edit conf step from the pdb2gmx section. Next, we need to specify the name of your output file. Let us simply call it as index underscore lig. Next, all you have to do is to click on this generate index file button. Hitting this button activates the GROMACS make index command, as you can see over here. And this make index command, when run in the background, you will see the process that is updated in the execution console window. At this point, a new section called residue selection will appear in this tab, right? So here is where you need to give something. So at this point, in this residue selection, we have to type something. So we need to provide some basic information that is required for completion of the task. I have already typed what is needed to be copied and pasted over here. I will simply copy this content and paste it over here so that there will be no error in this section. So basically what we have typed over here tells GROMACS to create an index group that includes all non-hydrogen atom, which is perfect for ligand based selection. Once you have this thing placed, you need to create, or you need to click this generate index file again to complete the process. A new file name index underscore lig dot index might have been created in your working directory. As you can see, if I sorted by date modified, this is the file that we have created. The new file called as index_league.ndx. So now once we have made sure in our working directory and we have confirmed that this index_league.ndx file has been successfully generated. And hey, if you are still watching this video, that means you are enjoying it. So please take a second to like this video, subscribe and share it with your friends or lab mates. Also drop a comment telling me the city or country you are watching it from. It really motivates us to keep creating great content. So alright, now moving on, whenever a new index file is created, we also need to create a position restraint file. So this file lists all the atom numbers and the 3 force constant in x, y and z direction. To do this, we generally use the gen restr command, and our software handles it beautifully through this position restraint utility, or what we call it as the position restraint tab. Now let me give you an overview of this position restraint tab. This tab has 3 sections. The first section is for specifying the input files. The second section manages the force constant that I just mentioned. And the third section, called as the group selection section, that let you choose which group are needed to be restrained. Let's go step by step through this process. Now step 1 is to select the league.grow file that we have used earlier. We need to select this by hitting on this open button. We are loading this league.grow file. And we need to load the index_league.ndx file that we have recently created. Just hit open it to load it in our software. By default, GROMACS will generate an output file named as position restraint league.itp. We will keep that name for the sake of consistency. Next, check the force constant section. By default, the value are 10,000 by 10,000 by 10,000 on x, 1000 by 1000 by 1000 on x, y and z axis, which are perfectly fine to use. Now hit this generate position restraint button. This will start the GROMACS gen restart command, and your console window will update showing the list of group that are available for selection. Now since we have loaded this league.grow file, all the groups that are offered here will be having the same number of elements. For the sake of understanding, the program is now waiting for your group selection input. As I have already mentioned, in the group selection section, we need to provide the number 3. This usually corresponds to the ligand atoms. This group 3, or you can also use group 2. Okay, so now once we have done with this thing, always make sure that whatever group that you are trying to index, you are supposed to provide the group selection, corresponding group selection value over here. So if the group that you are selecting is an ion, or if the group that you are selecting is a ligand, or if a group that you are selecting is a protein, then appropriate group number are supposed to be fed here. So once you have selected the appropriate group, you are supposed to press this send index to finalize the selection. Now hitting this send index button completes the gen register command and generate the identified posre underscore lig dot itp file, which contains atom numbers and force constant for all the three axes. You will also see a friendly reminder GROMACS code that confirms the completion of the command. Now that the position restraint file is ready, we need to tell GROMACS to actually use it. To do so, you need to do some editing stuff now. You are supposed to open the topol.top file that is already there. You need to just edit it. You can open with textpad maybe. Okay, so now once you have opened your topol.top file, you need to scroll to the very end and locate this section that says semicolon include position restraint file. This particular section is what I am looking for. Okay, so it should look something like this. Below this section, you are expected to add a few more lines that provides the position restraint for your ligand. I have kind of already copied the lines that you are supposed to paste it over here. I am copying these lines that will impart the position restraint for ligand, and I will simply paste it over here. Okay, once you paste this, you are supposed to save and close the file, and you are done, my friends. Now there is one more step remaining. We still need to do final index generation before equilibration. So before starting equilibration, we need to create one more index file. This time we need to combine both protein and ligand group. For doing so, we would again need this index architect tab. So what we need to do now is that we need to browse. We should kind of clear the previous you should always clear your previous data before you proceed for index architect tab. Okay, and we need to follow the following steps. We need to again browse and this time locate the em.grow file. This em.grow file is the grow file that we have obtained by the end of minimization simulation. Next, you are supposed to give the name of the new index file. Let us simply call it as index.ndx and just hit this generate index file button. Now my friends, you will see that the menu that is offered has changed from that we have observed in the previous time when we have used this index architect tab. Well, from this menu, now we are supposed to select the protein and ligand. The protein, as you can see, is present on the first option and ligand is present on the 13th option. So in order to select these two groups, this is how you do it. All you have to do is to copy this thing. I will tell you what this thing means. Once I have copied this thing, I will paste it over here in residue selection. Whatever we have written it over here, make sure that the separator is the pipe symbol between 1 and 30. This tells GROMACS to merge the protein and ligand group into one combined index. Now, again hit this generate index file button once more, and just like that your index.ndx file will appear in the working directory, stating that 33 lines have been added and it has been merged with the two groups as such. So this is it, my friends. You guys are awesome. Now you have created all necessary index and restraint files. Your system is fully prepared and ready for equilibration phase. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to comment below where you are watching from. Thanks for sticking around. I will see you in the next video where we begin the NVT equilibration step. See you guys in the next video.